Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Hope you guys are all doing super well. So welcome to today's video. As you can see by the title, we're going to be doing another true crime case. So every single Thursday, I'm going to be posting a new true crime video. So if you guys want to see more of these from me, make sure to stay tuned, make sure to subscribe, and every single Thursday there will be a new video here unless something happens and I can't post on a Thursday. I will let you guys know, but more than not, a new video will be here every single Thursday that involves true crime, missing persons, and things like that. So you can see by the title of today's video, we're going to be covering the case of Luz Gonzalez, and let me tell you, this case is heartbreaking, you guys. It's heartbreaking, it makes you really angry, and just the injustice in our system really comes out in this case, and it's going to make you so mad and angry. I feel like there are so many cases where the justice system has done the victims wrong and their family wrong and need to be fixed, and this is one of those cases. It does involve the death of a 4-year-old, so if that triggers you, or if cases about true crime or death trigger you, then I would definitely click away from this video. If you guys are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up, por favor, so you guys can join my familia. And I have a whole playlist for true crime videos. If you guys want to see more videos from me, I'll have it here, playing up here somewhere, and also linked down below if you guys want to see more of that. If I do get any information wrong or accidentally say something weird, definitely correct me down below. I mean, I am human, so sometimes I make mistakes. If I do something like that, definitely correct me in a nice way down below. I would very much appreciate it. And yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have to say. Let's just jump right into today's case. So today we're going to be talking about the case of Luz Gonzalez, who was a beautiful 4-year-old girl that lived in Brooklyn, New York with her mother, Reina Candia. They lived in Brooklyn, New York together, and let me tell you, she was the cutest little girl ever, you guys. I will include photos here on the screen. She was so cute, just like a beautiful little Mexican niña, super peinada, and just, I don't know, she was just so adorable, you guys. So on Sunday, June 24th at 4:30 p.m., Luz and her mother Reina were walking outside of a laundromat in Bushwick, New Jersey called Clean City Laundry. They were walking on the sidewalk, and this parking lot was really weird. I mean, this is just very problematic. So basically, the parking lot for this laundromat was on the sidewalk, so if you wanted to get into the laundromat, you would literally have to go over the sidewalk and just kind of park on it, and when you would have to back out, you obviously had to look for pedestrians because it was in the middle of a sidewalk. So people were always walking on there. It wasn't like there was a divider where the car could go in and the people could walk around, if that makes sense. So Luz and her mother were walking on the sidewalk. Luz was actually on her scooter, so she was just having the time of her life. She was just on her scooter, riding up and down the sidewalk when her shoe falls off when she was riding the scooter. So she gets off the scooter and she starts to pick up her shoe and tries to put it on herself, but she's 4 years old. I don't know if you know how to tie your shoes at that age, but obviously she was struggling. So her mom, Reina, bent over and tried to help her put on her shoe and tie her shoe and all that stuff. So they were bent over. It wasn't Luz was on the floor and Reina was standing up trying to tie her shoe. They both were crouched low on the sidewalk, literally right at the entrance of the parking lot of the laundromat, trying to put Luz's shoe back on. So while Luz and Reina were trying to put on her shoe, out of nowhere, 38-year-old Jeanette Maria was backing out of the laundromat. When she backed out, drove on the sidewalk, ran over Luz and injured Reina, stopped, and then continued to drive off and fled the scene. And it was just horrific, guys. There's surveillance footage of this that I will try to include if it's not too gory. If not, I'll have it linked down below so you guys can see it. I mean, oh, it is so heartbreaking. You can just see Luz and Reina just sitting there trying to tie her shoes, trying to get it together, when literally Jeanette just gets out of the parking lot, doesn't even look if there's anybody behind her, if there's anybody on the sidewalk, runs Luz over, runs Reina's leg over, just takes a pause because obviously you can see the car shake. She hit two bodies. Obviously the car is going to shake. So the car shakes, it gets a little bit bumpy, she pauses, and then she drives away as if nothing happened. Didn't even get out of the car to see what she hit, if she hit a curb, if she hit a person, nothing. Just drives away, and you can just see oh my god, Luz's body just fall flat, and Reina go over, hug her, carry her in her arms, screaming for help. You see people come out of the laundromat, you see people come from the sidewalk, from the street, come over and help Luz and her mother, because I mean, this was just a horrific incident that all these people just witnessed, and the driver just fled the scene. And there's actually video that a witness took of Reina carrying Luz, and Luz's body is bloody and just run over, which I'm not going to include here because I think it's a little bit graphic, but if you did want to see that, it's on the internet. Luz's mom wasn't screaming, but I'm sure she was screaming in the moment when it happened. But when everyone was videotaping this, Reina was just holding Luz, calling someone on her phone, just kind of trying to see what to do, because I think she was just in shock. Out of nowhere, her and her daughter are walking on the sidewalk, her shoe falls off, she tries to tie her shoe, and then In the blink of an eye, somehow Luz gets run over and the driver runs away and just leaves Reina here to deal with the situation on her own. So immediately after this happened, obviously everyone started calling the police. Everyone was like, hey, this 4-year-old girl was just run over by someone. This just happened. Here's a description of the car. Please, like, go get her. She fled the scene. So a couple blocks from the laundromat, Jeanette was actually pulled over by the police. And when they pulled her over, they're like, hey, this just happened. We have witnesses that say you ran over a 4-year-old girl and a mother and you fled the scene. And she acted like she had no idea what happened. She's like, what? Like, I ran someone over? I had no idea. I didn't even realize I hit someone. And the police just let her go. You guys, they didn't even, like, bring her to the laundromat to, like, look at the scene. They didn't even, like, bring her anywhere to, like, interrogate her. They were just like, oh, okay, you didn't realize you ran over a 4-year-old girl? That's fine, bye. And she just went off to her family's barbecue like nothing happened. Girl, they even told her that the girl had passed away because immediately after this happened, like, Luz and Reina were sent to the hospital, and once they got to the hospital, they did everything they could to save Luz and, you know, help Reina because she did get hurt in her leg. But unfortunately, Luz was pronounced dead at the hospital, and, you know, Reina's injuries were fixed and all that stuff, but I mean, Luz ended up passing away. Like, this is so freaking sad, you guys. Like, such an unnecessary death. So even though Jeanette knew that she ran over 2 people, that she fled the scene, and that the little girl had passed away, she still was like, I had no idea this happened. I don't know what's going on. And she just left, and the police were like, okay, I guess that's the end of that. Like, what even is that, you guys? It's so disgusting, and this case is just going to make you even more mad as we continue talking about it. So, like I said, when they pulled over Jeanette, she said she had no idea she had hit anybody. She didn't even feel like she had hit a curb, a bump, nothing. She's like, I didn't notice that my car hit anything. But in the video, you can clearly see her run over Luz, run over Reina, and just kind of take a pause because the car, like, shooks. Like, if you're in the car and you even hit a curb, like, I literally go flying. Like, I can feel when my car hits something, even if it's just a curb. So imagine hitting 2 people. You definitely feel that. So you can see Jeanette pause in the car because she realizes, like, oh my god, I hit something. And with, like, a quick look back, you can see that it's probably 2 people. Like, normal people would get out of the car and see what happened and, like, make sure they didn't, like, hit their car or hit another car. Especially if you see it's 2 people behind you, you're obviously going to get out and try to help. So she obviously knew, but she still fled the scene. She still got pulled over by the cops, told them she didn't know what happened, and was, like, let loose and went to her family barbecue. Like, what? So after everyone found out that Jeanette was not going to be charged for murder, was not going to be charged for, like, anything related to the accident, literally so much uproar happened in New York where there were so many protests with people chanting justice for Luz. There was people waving Mexican flags everywhere. They were saying justice for Luz in English and in Spanish because they were just annoyed. They're like, what the hell? This, like, person literally just ran over this 4-year-old girl, isn't getting charged, she's getting away with it when she obviously knew she did it. You know, maybe it wasn't on purpose, maybe she wasn't like, I'm gonna run her over. It was obviously like an accident, but it's definitely something that could have been prevented if you had been careful and just, like, looked around your area like when you normally back out of a parking lot. I feel like everyone looked. So people were so angry. So people were marching all over New York trying to get the NYPD to do something about this, trying to get the DA to charge her, to do anything. They're like, why is this happening? Like, I don't understand how there's other people that get charged with anything, but this woman clearly did something illegal, clearly did, like, kill someone, and she's not being charged. The sad part about this is that Luz's family is undocumented, so Reina and her family were scared to, like, keep pursuing the police and keep, you know, trying to fight for justice because they were undocumented, so they feared that, like, the more they were, like, in the police's face and, like, you know, doing all this stuff, that they would be, you know, deported, or that they would bring more attention to their family, which just makes it really sad that, like, they felt like they couldn't fight for justice for their daughter because they feared that they would be deported. I think that's really, really scary, and, you know, who knows if the police did say something to them to, like, make them fear that, or, like, where they got that fear from, but they were just kind of just like, I guess there's no justice for my daughter. But, you know, thankfully there were other people that were marching for them, you know, residents of New York and people part of, like, the Mexican community were really, really fighting for this because everyone was so angry. So while Luz's family and Reina were trying to figure out, like, the whole funeral situation, you know, trying to bury their daughter, they still had people marching and protesting and trying to get justice for Luz. Like, I remember during this time, like, there was, like, a hashtag justice for Luz on Instagram where everyone was so angry about this. It was all over Twitter, it was all over Facebook, and photos of Jeanette were everywhere being like, this woman needs to be held accountable, she needs to go to jail. And it was very intense. Like, I remember, so on July 5th, 2018, just 2 weeks after the accident, protesters marched all the way to the 83rd precinct and demanded to talk to the police officers and ask them, why is she not being charged? Like, we just want, like, a reasonable response as to why she's not being charged. And if it has something to do with the rumors that were going around during that time that Jeanette's brother was a sergeant for the NYPD. So they were like, is it because her brother is a sergeant for the NYPD? Does she have connections? Is she like rich? Like, what is the reason as to why she's not getting charged? And the police were like, it has nothing to do with that. We've looked at all the evidence. There's no evidence that she did this on purpose. There's no evidence that she realized she had run someone over. And they never confirmed or denied that Jeanette was related to someone from the NYPD, which I think is sus. You would think that they would deny that rumor. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like if you wanted to clear the NYPD's name in the system and all that stuff, you would say, oh no, she's not related to anyone from the NYPD. That has nothing to do with this. But they've never denied or confirmed this, which makes it really, really sus. And I'm not sure where this rumor started or who started this, but like I said, it's a theory that a lot of people have. But like I said, this has never been confirmed or denied, so we don't know if this is like 100% true or if it's just a rumor. There was also some rumors going around that Jeanette's brother had threatened to call ICE on Luz's family if they continued to pursue his sister more. So that has never been confirmed or denied, but that is a big rumor going around that they were like, if you try to go after my sister, we're gonna call ICE and get you undocumented, which is why Luz's family was very hesitant and like tried to like not focus so much on the justice. They were kind of just like focusing on burying Luz and like figuring all that out. And if that is true, that's absolutely disgusting that they would threaten to call ICE on a family who had just lost their 4-year-old daughter. Like I said, I don't know if it's true or not, but I feel like that's something that's probable. I don't want to say it is true, but like I get that vibe from this family, and it's so sad and disgusting. So going back to Luz's family, she was actually flown to Mexico and buried there, which that's where her family is from. And it's really sad because Luz's mom, Reina, could not attend the funeral because she was scared that like once she went to Mexico to attend the funeral, she wouldn't be able to come back to the United States because, like I said, her and her husband were undocumented. So it's really sad that neither one of them got to attend the funeral. I mean, at least she's buried, you know, where her family is from, and she's buried with family over there, but it still makes this like really, really heartbreaking that they weren't able to attend like the burial. They are fighting to get a green card. I'm not sure if they've been able to achieve that, but I know they are fighting to, you know, get their papers right and all that stuff so that they're able to go to Mexico and visit, you know, where she's buried. And, you know, so moving on to the investigation, like I said, there was so much uproar and, you know, anger towards the police department, being like, why is she not charged? But the police were like, we've looked at the evidence, we've looked at the surveillance footage, and we can't technically charge her because in order to charge someone for a hit and run and for like a flee the scene charge, any reasonable person should have cause to know that they hit someone. So like in order to be able to convict them and charge them and all that stuff for a hit and run, the person needs to have known that they hit someone. And they think based off that video that Jeanette did not know that she had hit Luz, which is such BS. Like, I'm not sure why they think that. They think by seeing that video and seeing Jeanette take a pause after she hits Luz is not enough evidence to show that she knew she had hit someone. Like, why else would she pause? You know what I mean? You don't just back out of a parking lot, randomly pause, and just wait there for like a minute and then drive off. You know what I mean? So it was obviously apparent that she knew she had run someone over, but for some reason the police were like, this is not enough evidence, and this doesn't prove that she knew she had hit Luz. The police did come out and say that Jeanette was being cooperative, that they had checked her driver's license and it was valid. They had checked if she was sober or not, and she was sober. She even volunteered to give them her phone so that they could check the activity and check if she was on her phone during the time of the accident to prove that she wasn't like being negligent, nothing like that. She wasn't texting and driving, she wasn't drunk, she didn't, you know, drive without a license, nothing like that. So they were trying to defend her, being like, hey, she's, you know, being cooperative, she's trying to help us, she's trying to like give us all the information she can to make sure that like this case like moves forward. The police were also trying to defend her by saying like if she had run Luz over and realized she had run Luz over, like any reasonable person would have stopped the car, gotten out of the car, and checked on the person that they just ran over. Like no one would just flee the scene or anything like that. So they were trying to defend her by being like, obviously the video shows that she didn't know she ran Luz over because she didn't get out of the car, she didn't check her car, she didn't like look like someone who had just hit something, which I think is like really stupid. Like I feel like if you're a bad person and you run someone over, you're obviously gonna flee the scene. You're not gonna stay there and be like, okay, like cops come get me, like I'll be held accountable for this crime. Like if you're a dumb, malicious, evil person, you're obviously gonna flee the scene. So I feel like the rationality behind the police's statement saying that like, well, any reasonable person would get out of the car and check on the person they just ran over is kind of stupid, because obviously if you're a bad person, you're gonna flee the scene as soon as you can, not just stay there and wait for police to come and get you. So I thought, and a lot of other people personally thought, that that was like a really, really dumb statement for them to make. So for the past 2 years, Jeanette has just been living scotch-free. She has just been living her life, even though obviously everyone has her photos everywhere, everyone knows her name. everyone knows what she does, but she still is somehow living with herself after she killed a 4-year-old, which I don't know how I would ever live with myself if I did that. Like, I would not be able to function after that. And she has made statements saying that she's completely broken, that she wants to contact Luz's family and talk to them and explain to them what happened, and that, you know, when the time is right, she's going to contact them and, you know, try to get to know them. And I'm just like, girl, what are you talking about? Like, she is just like really, really dumb. The case has kind of gone down a little bit in the past 2 years. Like, I've been trying to find more tweets about it and more articles and things like that, but it's kind of like gone down until recently. This year, something happened, which is the move in the right direction. It's not completely okay, but we're moving in the right direction. So I recently read this article that in September of 2020, which is this year, she's actually going to be going to court to be arraigned for a charge. It's not manslaughter, it's not murder, but, you know, it's something, but it's not enough stuff. So in the summer of 2020, the police and the DA were like, you know what, the only way that we can have a probable charge and something that will stick to Jeanette is if we charge her for failure to exercise due care, which basically means that they can establish that Luz's death would have been avoided if Jeanette had just done her due care and checked her surroundings, checked her rearview mirrors, checked her camera, and had like literally just been careful while driving. Luz's death would have been avoided, which I'm like, I don't know how it took 2 years to get to that conclusion. Like, I think that's a little bit weird that they couldn't just realize that from the moment, like, oh yeah, if she had been more careful and exercised her due to care, she wouldn't have run Luz over and killed her. Even though a lot of lawyers aren't happy with that because they're saying that she's probably not gonna like either get convicted for that, or if she does, it's not gonna be like anything serious, like maybe community service or something like that, but it's nothing like how she should be charged. So Jeanette was scheduled to be arraigned in September of 2020, and I haven't seen like an updated article saying like what happened when she went to that like court meeting. I haven't seen any updates, but I'm hoping like, you know, hopefully this case moves forward and she at least gets charged with something. I feel like that's, you know, the step in the right direction. But after hearing about this, people started to make more petitions called Justice for Luz on, you know, petition.org and all these websites, you know, being like, hey, look, people, let's remember this case and let's make sure she gets charged with something more serious than just like what they're doing right now. So there is petitions open. I believe there's one that's like 500,000 signatures, and it's, I forget who it was sent to, like the mayor of New York or something like that. There's already like 300,000 signatures, so we're so close to 500,000 signatures, and I'll have it linked down below. Plus like more petitions and GoFundMes for Luz's family and all that stuff. So as of now, her license has been revoked. I did see that, so she's not able to drive anymore, which I guess is, you know, a step in the right direction, but there still needs to be more done. And Luz's family is just trying to get justice for their daughter. Like, they're just like trying to get a civil suit against Maria. They're trying to get a civil suit against the DA's office, against NYPD, against the laundromat for having that type of parking lot where you have to drive on the sidewalk to get in, which actually that parking lot has been like, how do you say it? I guess like banned. Like, that parking lot no longer exists because they realized how dangerous it was and how illegal that type of parking lot was. So thankfully, like, that has been taken care of. This is just another case of like injustice. You know, granted, Jeanette isn't white. Not saying it's like racially, you know, biased, but if she does have connections to the NYPD and her brother is a sergeant, I think this is disgusting that they're letting her just kind of roam the earth free because she has ties to that and she has the privilege of having someone be in the police force. I think that's really, really gross, and, you know, Luz needs justice. Her family needs justice. It's just, it's so sad. Like, she has so much life ahead of her and she was so cute, and just, I don't know, this case like really, really breaks my heart. So I really wanted to talk about it and just kind of get your guys' opinion on it. Do you think Jeanette had no idea what she did? Do you think she actually just really had no clue she ran someone over and that's why she just fled the scene to go to her family's barbecue? Or do you think that she did know and she's just getting away with it because she does have the privilege of having connections to the NYPD and this is all just like a messed up system? Definitely let me know your thoughts down below on this case. I would love to hear it. And if there's another specific case that you guys want me to cover, definitely let me know in the comments down below because I'm always making a list of cases you guys recommend so I can do them for you guys. But yeah, it's a sad case, you guys. I wish there was a happy ending to this. I wish there was complete justice, but if there is any updates from her arraignment, I will definitely let you guys know in the comments down below once I hear something. But for now, all we can do is just sign petitions, you know, use the hashtag Justice for Luz. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have to say. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, por favor, and subscribe down below. If you guys want to see more true crime videos from me, like I said, I'll be posting one every single Thursday. So definitely subscribe and turn your notifications on so you guys can see my new videos. And yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have to say. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys!